So we're going to talk about you're stuck in your story. So pretty much what your story is, it's everything that's happened to you up to this point. All right. And you're defined by your story right now. So you can look at it as like pretty much there's negative aspects to it, positive aspects, but you highlight whatever happened and you interpret it a certain way. All right. And you interpret it this way typically because of like childhood triggers and things like that, like what happened to you, how you were raised, things of that nature. But what you have to understand is you're in control of your story going forward. But what you have to do is detach yourself from your previous story unless you're using it as strength for your story going forward. All right. So like a lot of people have like, a couple bad things happen to them in their lives and they'll bring that forward into the future. So that negative story pattern will dictate what they do in their future, like what they believe they can do, what they feel like they're capable of. It's as simple as like someone growing up and their mother saying you're not good enough or being highly critical, and they took that as I am not good enough and I don't do anything right. So then everything they do in their future, so tomorrow, is going to be in a box. It's going to be in this box to where, nothing I do is right, so why try it? Or they'll just be like, oh, I'm only staying here. I'm only going to do the things I know because I know I'm doing them right, or no one's going to give me a hard time. And that limits you to what your capabilities are in the future. So what we have to do is understand that our future isn't written yet. And there's really nothing from our past that is going to dictate what happens into our future unless we choose to, right? So really the past is gone and the future is clear. It's a clear canvas for you to do what you want, non-limited. It really is. And it's hard for people to wrap their mind around that because they're stuck in this pattern of believing a story that's incorrect. So when you come into a stressful situation, or say you just want to be like, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to be like, the first thing in your head is going to be like, oh, you can't lose 20 pounds. Or, oh, if you lose 20 pounds, you'll gain it back like you did before, right? And that's what will limit you from doing anything great or having this switch in your future days. So we have to recognize what are our thought patterns like our thought patterns, but also like what story are we telling ourselves? Like what am I saying to myself on a daily basis, especially when I go after my goals or dreams? Or just, like one story would be like, oh man, I've had a stressful day. I need a drink. Like that's a broken story right there because you just assumed because you had a stressful day, you're supposed to have a drink. But technically, going forward, you don't have to do any of that. Like, no one says you have to have a drink if you have a stressful day, right? It's not written. There's not a law. But in your story, it is. So you have to detach that story and start a new one and really choose the positive facts about yourself going forward. So an easy way, and this talks about self-confidence, is what am I doing that's good? Like what did I do that's been good? And you just write down a list of things that you've done that are great in your life. And that's really who you are right there. All the other stuff is just crap from the story that happened to you that you're bringing forward. So that's really what you highlight, is really all of the big things you've done in your life. Or just like, it doesn't even have to be big. It could be as simple as, I'm a caring person that helps out people. I helped out this lady one time. I bought her whole family groceries because she had no money in front of me at line. Like, that's a great thing. Like, there's no interpretation on big. Like, big is so subconsciously, like, interpretive. Like, it's like everyone thinks like, oh, you have to, you want a gold medal. You're this great person. Like, yeah, you did something awesome, but it doesn't mean you're a great person because you won a gold medal. Like, just what it is. Because to someone who doesn't even know what a gold medal is, they're like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's great, So you have to highlight your things that you're proud of and kind of like your like winning moments of life and take those forward. And then now you're writing a story, a brand new story that has a clear canvas and it has you thinking at your best, right? We're not limiting ourselves. We're actually working on our confidence going forward.